Today we find ourselves in Jersey City, New Jersey. We're looking west, down Montgomery Street. East on Montgomery Street, in just a mile or so, is the Hudson River. And then on the other side of the river, the Ground Zero and the new World Trade Center. To our right and left are Bergen Avenue, going north and south in the city. I am here, and I'm reading Thomas Merton. In this particular selection, he's talking about people who want to learn to pray in a deeply contemplative way. And he says that people who live close to the land, close to the poverty of the big city, are more likely to be open and ready for that kind of prayer. He writes, "The way to contemplation is an obscurity so obscure that it is no longer even dramatic. There is nothing in it that can be grasped and cherished as heroic or even unusual. And so, for the contemplative, there is supreme value in the ordinary, everyday routine of work, poverty, hardship, and monotony that characterize the lives of all the poor, uninteresting, and forgotten people in the world. Christ, who came on earth to form contemplatives and reach people in ways of sanctity and prayer, could easily have surrounded himself with ascetics who starved themselves to death and terrified people with strange trances. But his apostles were workmen, fishermen, publicans who made themselves conspicuous only by their disregard for most of the intricate network of devotions and ceremonial practices and moral gymnastics of the professionally holy. The surest asceticism is the bitter insecurity and labor and nonentity of the really poor. To be utterly dependent on other people, to be ignored and despised and forgotten, to know little of respectability or comfort, to take orders and work hard for little or no money. It is a hard school, and one which most pious people do their best to avoid." A person cannot be a perfect Christian, that is, a saint, unless he is also a communist. This means that he must either absolutely give up all right to possess anything at all, or else only use what he himself needs of the goods that belong to him and administer the rest for other people and for the poor. And in his determination of what he needs, he must be governed to a great extent by the gravity of the needs of others. If Christians had lived up to the Church's teaching about property and poverty, there would never have been any occasion for the spurious communism of the Marxists and all the rest, whose communism starts out by denying other people the right to own property. There is only one true doctrine about property rights, and that is taught by the Catholic tradition. Those rights exist and cannot be denied, but they imply an obligation which, if it were put into practice without the hypocrisy, self-deception, and subterfuge, would mean that most Christians would be living with something like the communism of the first apostles. Quote, "For neither was there any one needy among them, for as many were owners of land or houses and sold them, and brought the price of things they sold and laid it before the feet of the apostles, and distribution was made to everyone according to their need." End quote. No one denied those people the right to own land or to keep what they owned or to sell it or give away their money. Yet that right implied an obligation to satisfy the needs of others as well as their own, and brought with it the privilege of doing so in a manner that was beyond the strict letter of any law, and which would go as far as a charity that was heroic. If you have any money, consider that perhaps the only reason God allowed it to fall into your hands was in order that you might find joy and perfection by giving it all away.